Hey everyone, welcome to a new video. Today I'll be doing something a little bit different. I don't know how interested you guys are in Pokemon cards. I'm fairly new to it myself. Like I started collecting over a year ago, I would say. Either way, there's a lot of big YouTubers in Hive, especially around Pokemon. I, this YouTuber I wanted to talk about a little bit today, one of the videos he made seemed a bit, weird. And if you would look at the comments section, a lot of other people agreed that it came off a little bit, just like, general vibes were a bit weird in this one. Not sure what he was really thinking when he planned this out. The ending is also a little bit disappointing in terms of. So I want to like preface this first with saying that, I'm not like condoning any negative hate or anything towards this YouTuber. Like he has 2 million subscribers. Like I'm sure this might just be like a random one-off kind of thing. I don't really watch him personally that much, but personally, like I'm used to hearing the trade-off challenge or whatever people call it, because I get a lot of DMs on Steam. A lot of kids usually are interested in trading their CS skins back and forth, trying to get something more expensive over time. Because if you were to trade on the Steam marketplace directly for USD for like in-store credit, basically, they take quite a big fee. I think it's like 15% or something. So it makes sense that people would try to like ask others, like, hey, I have the skin of this weapon. I noticed on your inventory you don't really have a skin of this weapon. Like, would you be interested in this? I noticed that you have this skin that's around the same value, would you want to trade this with me? And in that way, they would like gain potentially a few bucks of value based on if the skin that they wanted from my inventory would be like a $5-10 more worth more on the marketplace compared to the skin that they're offering. And in the case where maybe I have like 2 3 different skins of that weapon that he's asking for, and I don't have a skin of the item that he's offering, then like I win, even though I may give out like something that's a little bit more valuable. So that's kind of like the idea behind the trade-off challenge. Like you take a lot of risk because you may end up in some kind of like a dead end where you're holding on to a skin that no one wants, and then you may end up just having to like market sell it. So the idea with doing so with Pokemon cards, I thought was interesting when I first saw the video in my recommended feed. But uh, I guess we should just watch a little bit of the video so you guys get the idea, get the gist of it, and then I'll just pause it here and there to leave some of my thoughts.
I was able to get a PSA 10.
Hey!
The only problem is, now there is a problem, but
No.
the case is cracked right there.
I traded this Pokemon coin all the way up to this rare PSA 10 card in just 3 hours.
So straight off the bat, I don't know why it would just spoil the whole video. That kind of makes it not that fun. I know a lot of people do this. It's probably like a way to, they probably notice the algorithm or how people's minds work. That if you like the idea of how did he do it is more interesting than what he actually accomplished. That might get them to continue watching the video. So for me personally, it's this kind of spoils the fun, like already knowing what he traded it into at the end.
I attended the NTX card show in Frisco, Texas, and it was crowded.
Excuse me.
Sorry, excuse me.
I was able to trade for any Pokemon item, cards, sealed, anything.
How much is the Squirtle?
But it all starts with this singular coin worth $1. I arrived at the show and picked up my golden VIP wristband. This was important because it gets me into the show 1 hour early before doors officially open because look at the line.
All right, so I don't really know how often I'm supposed to like pause this and talk over it. Like I don't want to get, a strike or whatever from the the creator of the original video. Maybe, you know, if I watch it at one, I don't know, like I could, I guess, just scroll through this. I'm not, you know, I'm not going to edit this too much. But I kind of just wanted to point out some of the trades and the whole, you know, general idea of this. So maybe let me just like skip over some parts here and there.
Pokemon boom is definitely going to play a factor today.
It's actually
So one of his first trades is this one.
this Mew coin from a 151
Oh,
UPC.
Ultimate Potion. Yeah, I
So
love
yeah,
that
it's
one.
only starting out at what I think it's worth around $1-ish. Want to see if you have
I really
So he offers him two choices here. And he, you know, makes a kind of like a game out of it. He's like, you know, pick one of these. And whichever one you pick, you know, that's the one you get.
like these two cards. They're
Okay.
not the most expensive, but I'll let you pick one at random.
Tom presented me with two mystery offers. One
It's funny that he's like knows that, okay, it's a mystery offer, so, you know, and he says pick one at random. I mean, it's a bit, I guess, like one of them is Japanese, the other is English, so it's not completely random. You still like prefer the English ones, I suppose. That's why he picks the English one first.
One was an English card and the other Japanese. I decided to go for the English, just the Shaman holographic from the set Ultra Prism.
So to him now, this isn't, you know, this isn't the best outcome because he apparently values his coin, even though he does mention that it has some sort of sentimental value based off something about when he started playing the TCG. He won it or had it with him or something. But he's not too happy about, you know, it having the same value as his perceived value of the coin. And then he's like, oh yeah, let me take a look at the other one.
that's essentially around the same value.
But the Japanese one.
Can I see this other one? Ooh.
I think you like that one.
I think that is definitely good. You had me for a second there.
Everyone likes
I mean,
Eevee, so
Not only that, but it's the Pokemon card Gym. Can you explain the significance of that card at all?
so this one is actually like a gym promo. It's like for their leagues over there is a participation award. So,
In Japan?
yeah.
Let me think about
So
it.
kind of start your journey and
he's like, let me think about it. Like, you already picked the other one. Like, move on. Go do another, you know, try again on another vendor. Like, what's the point of changing your choice when that wasn't like a choice to begin with? Like, he already, like, I'm not gonna get stuck on this too much, but you can already tell from the first trade offer that he's already like bending the rules of the rules that the vendor himself made, where he's like, pick one at
it's
random.
a continuation of that TCG journey.
I think I will take it.
Okay, that sounds good.
All right, let's
Appreciate
shake on it. Thank
yeah.
you so much.
I mean, no offense to the vendor, like that he agreed to it, you know, like obviously you're not gonna start being petty about a $1 difference. It's just a bit like, you know, he should have just like taken his choice and moved on. It's already a little bit, it comes off a bit weird.
Enjoy the rest of your show, buddy.
Absolutely.
A great pickup, mainly because it's Eevee and people love Eevee. Just like that, we've
And then he goes to the next vendor.
You. Yeah, good to see you.
and he just so happened to be finishing up a big trade.
So I'm doing today my first trade up challenge.
Okay.
The thing I need to point out here as well is that, like, everyone here knows who he is. He's, as I mentioned in the beginning, he's a 2 million subscriber YouTuber, and he's going in front of people with cameras attached to his vest, with someone else recording him. I assume it's someone else, and like people are aware who he is, and they're noticing that he's recording, and he has someone else recording him. So like there's already this perceived notion of like, I'm being recorded right now, so whatever he's saying, whatever he's doing, I'm aware that this may potentially make it into the edit of the video he's about to create. So obviously I don't want to come off as someone not being cool or not being nice enough to follow like whatever his requests are. So there's already this like unfair advantage that he has as a big YouTuber. Potentially, he's also like offering some kind of promo to the vendors that if they were to agree with the trade up, he will give them a shout out. I think I saw something similar here in the previous video, like just before he moves on.
Mainly because it's Eevee and people love Eevee. Just like that, we've already doubled up our value.
I think this is going to get us really, really far. I was hesitant with the Shaman at the beginning, but this really got me. So thank you so much, TP Collectibles.
So yeah, he throws him a quick promo, which, it's nice, but is it really something? Is it really part of the challenge? Like, doesn't it make the challenge not really a challenge if you're just going there using your influence and yourself as a person, everyone knowing about you, like everyone's obviously looking at him, they know who he is. So not only like they may also just be interested in what he's doing. It's not like they're like infatuated by a star being there. It's just, I don't know, like this whole idea with the trade up challenge is like if he had done it without recording everything, sure. But knowing that he's going to monetize this content and then at the same time trying to like trade up, starting from not even a card to a high value card, it just seems like a double dipping and from the community. So either way, let's
Today,
just
my
continue
first
watching a bit
trade-up
more.
challenge. Okay. And so I just traded a coin for a card, and I'm wanting to see if there's anything that you can help me move up to the next level.
I got the perfect one.
This could be big. He instantly thought of something from the big trade he just finished.
Oh yeah?
So a lot of my people know that I'm a huge believer in this promo. So I'm gonna let you upgrade to this one.
No way. So it's an Eevee for an Eevee.
Like notice also how he says I'm gonna let you upgrade to this one, because like they know it's a shit deal. Like getting a $2 card, which apparently he removed the price tag on, for I think they mentioned later it's a $10 card. Like obviously no one in their right mind would trade this, because they could get at least like 4 of those cards to make it just like a little bit more even. But they're obviously saying, you can have this because you're you are this big YouTuber doing a challenge, you approached me, so here, have some of my value.
Yeah, exactly.
That's big, and it's still sealed as well. So wow.
An Eevee for an Eevee? I'll take that. The fact that it was sealed should definitely help.
We're off to a 2-for-2 start right now. I mean, this can't get any better. We have just jumped 10 times the value of the previous card, right? 5 times the value of the previous card. All right, let's.
Like, that's another thing. No regular person would be able to do that trade-off. As I mentioned earlier, like, unless that guy was really, really looking for this other card, and no one, like, he hasn't been able to find it anywhere, or it's, has some kind of sentimental value, or it's a card he lacks in his collection and he's been after for a long time, no one would do this trade unless, they know like who they're doing the trade with. That's the only reason they're doing this. So it's just like it's all like a little bit weird from just based of like this YouTuber should never have done this challenge and this idea of content to begin with. There's like no good way to get out of this one. I mean, there could be, he could like soften the blow a little bit in the end, but he chooses not to do that either. So let's just get like into a few more examples here.
You'd like to trade potentially? You can absolutely say no. I'm not helping myself out. Just trying to.
What does that even mean? I'm not helping myself out. Like, you're already helping yourself out by being who you are. It's not like you can force people more than you already are forcing them to do a trade. Like, I don't know what that even means. And I'm sure he's already like, the unedited version is like him being all, we can promote your your company name or your vendor name if you agree to doing this trade, just so they can get some value back from the value they're losing in the trade-off. So I don't know what he would mean with I'm not helping myself out, which, well, he obviously already is.
Yeah, by the end of today, see how far I can get.
Tell you what, you can take anything in this binder.
Oh.
Yep, that's something that would happen to a regular person trying to do a trade up. Just take anything you want from this whole binder. Like, I don't even care. Like, I know there's probably like cards worth $10, $20, $30 in here. Just pick whatever you want.
Whoa. That's a pretty big jump.
The next vendor let me pick from his graded binder, and I was instantly drawn to this secret rare.
The thing with graded is, because I'm personally having a few cards graded here for the first time now, is that it already costs like $20 just to grade a card. So like the fact that he's going from a sealed ungraded card to one that's already graded, it's already very unfair in my eyes. But the nice thing is that he at least doesn't pick one that's too expensive, too high of a jump.
Fire energy, that was a SGC 10.
Oh, that is so beautiful.
It looks stunning, and I knew this would draw eyes for future trades.
Okay, would you do that one?
It could also be that he just picked the one that had the highest number, because he was already eyeing this other one that was $25. And, maybe the half art Electabuzz here wasn't really that shiny enough. And, I don't know if he ever went to the next page, but maybe the value wasn't as high as on the other ones.
Stunning, and I knew this would draw eyes for future trades. Of the
Are you doing
the channel.
Either way, he also
helping me
then
out on the
goes
journey.
he then goes on to also make a trade with a random viewer or like someone who enjoys the content he creates.
I then ran into a fan of the channel, Courtney, who happened to have a very nice collection.
I'm a big pink Pokemon.
She has a pretty cool collection, by the way, especially the next page.
I really
Like, Mew is one of my favorites as well, so that's really cool. As you guys probably know, it having been one of my profile pics for like a decade before the one I changed now recently to the Mew spelled differently from our game, which is a cat, and it's based off of my cat. But yeah, like she has a cool collection, and she also mentions that she has a signed card from him that she received years ago. So obviously he also takes advantage of her in a way where he trades up, to a card that's valued more, basically.
How much is that one worth?
I use red candy.
Nice, I love it. $83. Okay, well there goes that. I mean that one's worth a lot probably, right? From the UPC.
That one's 32. I would trade you that one.
Okay. Wow, Courtney. I think I'll take it. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness.
Thank you, Courtney, for the trade. Before we parted ways, she wanted to show me a Charizard card I signed.
Alright, so that's basically like the whole stick with this video.
I appreciate
Like, he does deals with people for, he ups the value. There's some instances where he gets a card that's not worth as much as the one he has, and he seems kind of bummed out about it. But, it shouldn't be too hard.
this. All right, let's see what damage we can do.
Like, it shouldn't be too hard for him to make up for it.
Booth I hit up makes me an incredible offer.
I just traded for this knockout collection. Is there anything that you would potentially want to trade that's either equivalent or hopefully a little bit more?
What's it going?
I think it was around $50.
Shining Fate TT.
Like, that's the thing, like, he makes sure that people know that he's also okay with trading for something around the same price. So he's not, looking to just literally steal off of people. But it also, a lot of other times it comes off as he's just like, sometimes it seems like he's pretending he doesn't really know the value of certain things he's asking. Some other times, like here's with the ETB, it seems a bit suspicious in my eyes.
On my journey today,
Of course.
but I want to try to see if we can make some sort of nicer jump. Do you have anything that you think you would trade for this?
What would you want?
There's no way you would do
Like, what would you want is not something anyone would ask. It would be like, what do I want? What do you have? And, like, okay, I'm not gonna repeat myself too much, but I think you guys are getting the point.
Hidden Fates ETB. I know that's a big jump.
How about at least we have both counter with the Champions Path ETB?
Done. I'll do that. You think that's a good deal, right?
That's a killer deal.
Is that? I don't know the prices of it.
This is about 75.
Yeah.
This is like 125.
I will do that
Let's
then.
do it.
No way. Thank you for that.
Yes, sir. Of course.
Listen, we're gonna do a combo deal.
Okay.
You just swap the pad, and I'll swap this.
No.
Yes. Let's do it.
So like do a double trade?
Yes, sir.
No way. This is big. Thank you.
Okay, wait. That happened so fast my head is spinning. I walked up with the Shining Fates ETB.
All right, so yeah, you get the gist of it. Like, trading up in the same minute from $75 to $200. It's not a challenge. It's not something anyone's going to agree with doing. So in the end, he ends up,
The first booth I see, and it was loaded with amazing cards.
I'm just gonna
Now, the
talk
only
over
problem
this at this
was
point.
Everything was way above the value of my
So he
Zard.
just ends up with a very
This
expensive
is what they
$500-600 card, I believe.
Dang.
And he's like,
I
yay, in
really
just
thought
3 hours, I traded from my worthless coin
something in exchange for
into
my
this.
Two of the nines, I can give you a pretty good like value.
And it's just like,
Jimmy.
Do you want to see?
Another funny story.
Okay, now this is maybe the most
I get if he's, running out of content ideas. If that's like the issue, then okay. But this is not something a YouTuber of his size should have even like attempted to do. Cause what he's doing at the end of the day is just taking value from these vendors, taking, because they're not gonna be able to trade the thing that he gave them for anything close to like anything higher than its actual value. And he goes in there 3 hours, goes out with a $500-600 card. It just means that he gained $500-600 from those people he traded with. So I don't really know if that's someone who usually makes, I don't know how many views he would get per video. Maybe he's dropping off, maybe he's becoming less relevant. I don't know his case. I don't really watch this YouTuber. I'm just trying to point out that this idea is not something people should attempt at his in his position. It's not something it's just a bad idea in general. I think a lot of people also agreed in the comment section. There are people saying that all these favorable deals, it's just because of who he is. It would have been cool if he did this challenge at the same time with another random person who no one knows who he is. Someone also mentioned that maybe he should have done this without recording everything. Just to see how people would treat him just based off who he is, and not the fact that they know they're being recorded, which may also add some extra pressure on them to agree to these favorable trade-offs. Yeah, so like you guys can see that a lot of people were not too happy about this video. And as I mentioned earlier, like the one thing that could have made up for this in any sort of way, like even a little bit, since he's already getting a lot of views. I don't know what the revenue is for earning per views or whatever on YouTube is nowadays. But the nice thing to do here, the right thing to do from someone in this position, I feel like would have been to give that card to someone else. Someone, not the vendors, like specifically, but maybe someone who was attending the show, like a regular user, a regular collector from the community, maybe like someone young, some kid who's new to it all. He would have been like, it would have made his year. Instead of giving it to someone who's already very well off, I assume, has been creating Pokemon content and forever, and now at the top of the Pokemon Mania. I'm sure he's not, he's not, he doesn't really need that card, I don't think. But instead,
Perhaps my next trade-up challenge, I begin with this Moonbryon. Be sure to...
so that's, he's gonna do another challenge where he begins with this. So he's gonna try and like take even more value from people, like end up with a Ferrari at the end of the video. I don't really know what like I don't personally think this was a good idea for content, and I would have, I would have not agreed to whoever told him about this idea, and I would have just done like something completely different. Anyway, just thought I'll make a quick video, something completely different today from my usual content you're gonna be seeing on this YouTube channel. Let me know what you think. Let me know, if this is something you personally don't have any issues with, or what you think about the whole thing. Maybe I'm just overreacting, I don't know.